One of the most intriguing things about the Kansas City Chiefs' run of success so far with the triumvirate of Brett Veach, Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes is that for so long they have actually been playing catch-up in the personnel department. If you go back to when uh, Brett Veach ended up being the general manager, becoming the general manager, pardon me, there was a serious deficit of talent on the defensive side of the ball. I think we could all recognize that. We can all understand that. In the years since, what has happened is that the Kansas City Chiefs deficit has shifted towards the offensive skilled players portion of the football team, wide receivers, especially backup running backs nominally. But that's so interesting because it's manifest in the way that they have run their draft. They have to target certain positions, and they've had to every year. Now, certainly, this is not strange from an NFL perspective. No team in the NFL is perfect. The parity in the league is incumbent upon that. But it's certainly strange because the Chiefs have had so much success sustained, despite the fact that they have had to rebuild each side of the football. And one of the ways that this is ultimately an anomaly is that they have not been able to draft over contributors. They've had to oftentimes find players that will start. They have had to oftentimes take flyers on players that maybe are not supposed to be good, or maybe, for example, in the case of Trey Smith, there is an outstanding medical condition that a lot of people are passing on. Certainly was the same with Justin Ross. But because of the fact that they are drafting so low and they have had such a deficit on one side of the football or the other, the Chiefs have not been able to draft in order to replace a contributor, drafting over a contributor. And that might be what we have with the case of Jared Wiley. In an article today from Arrowhead Pride, which is about training camp positional battles, we get the following. Quote, Jared Wiley versus Noah Gray versus Irv Smith versus Garrett Prince. Travis Kelce, having already established himself as the best tight end of all time, has also built a huge public following over the last couple of years. The opportunities he'll have after football are going to be limitless, but, at least for now, he's all in with the Chiefs for another season. Noah Gray had a pretty solid 2023 season as a backup, and he figures to be the number 2 guy this season as well. But there might be a challenger or two for that position in the Chiefs' 4th-round pick from this year, Jared Wiley. In the offseason program, he turned heads and made a positive impression as a pass catcher and as a student of the offense. Can Wiley build on that? Can Wiley build on that with an impressive training camp? I was under the impression that was poorly written. It is not. It was poorly read. Can Wiley build on that with an impressive training camp? Before Wiley, there was the addition of Irv Smith Jr., a once promising prospect out of Alabama who has struggled to stay healthy. If he is able to get on the field and show out in the preseason, he could easily be on the roster with a chance to contribute. He can at least replace Blake Bell, but maybe he can get his career back on track and really be a factor. Receiving threat Jody Fortson isn't back, but up-and-comer Garrett Prince is. He'll have an opportunity to earn a job or at least stick around on the practice squad this season. Prince is a local product and a friend of Arrowhead Pride, so there will be plenty of support for him in St. Joseph. Prediction, the Chiefs carry 4 tight ends, Kelce, Gray, Wiley, and Smith, with Prince getting a practice squad invite. Wiley might vault to the number 2 spot with a training camp that should feature his size and athleticism in the passing game. In my opinion, that is exactly what we are going to see from Jared Wiley in the preseason. We are going to see Jared Wiley climb all the way up this this depth chart for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think he may be the type of talent not only that climbs to the number 2 spot and unthrones Noah Gray from that number 2 spot at tight end, but also may be the type of talent that finally allows Travis Kelce to take some reps off during the season. Travis Kelce is a workhorse and recently called on the Kansas City Chiefs to put even more on his plate, but there is a problem with that. The fact that he is 63 years old and figuring to draw a pension in the next couple of years, but also these numbers that I am about to read to you. 2014, 668 reps. 2015, 923 reps. 2016, 886 reps. 2017, 872, then 993, then 971, then 899, then 926, then 914. Last year, finally, he broke below the 900/800 threshold for the first time since 2015 with only 775 offensive reps. But that does not include playoff games. And Travis Kelce, well, he's played in quite a few playoff games. There is no reason that Travis Kelce should ever break over that 800 rep barrier again, so long as there is someone competent and compelling behind him. And here's the thing. Noah Gray, in my opinion, I was hard on Noah Gray going into last season. I think what it is we've just figured out Noah Gray's ceiling. Noah Gray is a rookie, 10 targets, 7 receptions, 36 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 first downs. Now, here's the interesting thing with those numbers. 2 first downs on 7 receptions, that's a 29% conversion rate. This might not seem like a compelling statistic, but I think it's a very big deal for tight ends. In 2022, 34 targets, 28 receptions, 299 yards, a touchdown, and 14 first downs, meaning that 50% of his receptions were converted for first downs. In 2023, now, keeping an eye on the 2022 stats in comparison with these 2023 stats, in my opinion, is very telling. 41 targets, that's 7 more targets. 28 receptions, the same number of receptions. 305 yards, that's 6 more yards. 2 touchdowns, that's an additional touchdown. 16 first downs, which is 2 more first downs, but it's still a clip of 57% of his receptions being first downs. This is important to me as a tight end, and this is, in my opinion, the reason that this could be a very big deal for tight ends. These are the guys that you're going to when things break down. These are the guys you're going to because it's 3rd and 4 and you need a dependable reception. These are the guys that you're going to when Patrick Mahomes has to scramble out, etc. First downs are telling in this offense. First downs are telling, in my opinion, especially for tight ends. For example, the worst season that Travis Kelce has had in the past 3 years was last year, where he had 93 receptions and 50 first downs. That's a 53.8% conversion rate for first downs. However, in 2022, he had 110 receptions, 78 of them were first downs. That is a 71% conversion rate. 63 first downs on 92 receptions in 2021, a 68.5% conversion rate. These are big deals. First downs keep your drive alive. Obviously, first downs are what allows your offense to stay on the field. First down keeps your defense off of the field. I think Jared Wiley has the profile of a guy who could be a first down specialist, much in the same way that is Travis Kelce. And I want to look at the athletes themselves. And this, well, let me go ahead and get this all on the same page so it'll be easier to look at here. I know that Microsoft Word is not the preferred version for this, but I'm technologically limited, guys, so stand by for me, all right? Noah Gray, 6'3". Jared Wiley, 6'6". Travis, 6'6" and an eighth, right? That's a true 6'6". Travis Kelce, 6'4" and 7/8, essentially 6'5". So Jared Wiley is not just taller than Noah Gray, he's the tallest tight end on the roster right now. Well, I think Baylor Cupp might be taller than him, but I think Baylor Cupp's going to be on the practice squad this year for sure. Noah Gray, 240 pounds. Jared Wiley, 249, though I have seen reports that Jared Wiley could be anywhere from 250 to 257 pounds. Travis Kelce, 255 pounds. They are all relatively close with weight, but again, you have Jared Wiley closer to Travis Kelce than Noah Gray. The 40-yard dash, in fact, Noah Gray is the fastest guy at 4.6 flat with a 1.61 10-yard split. But Jared Wiley is 2/100ths of a second slower and 1/100th of a second slower on 10 yards. 10 yards, that first down marker. Travis Kelce, a 4.61 40-yard dash, but I dare say he's not in that neighborhood anymore, with a 1.61 10-yard split. If you are going to be 3+ inches shorter and 9 pounds lighter, it would behoove you to be a little bit faster than 2/100ths of a second faster than the biggest guy on the roster. Here's where it gets compelling. 20-yard short shuttle. This is how shifty are you? Noah Gray, 4.45. Jared Wiley, 4.52. Travis Kelce ran a 4.42 20-yard short shuttle. The 3-cone drill, Noah Gray had a 6.9. Jared Wiley, a 7.19. Travis Kelce, a 7.09. Lots of nines in those numbers. But Noah Gray comes out of those numbers substantially more impressive than these other two guys. 35-inch vertical leap for Noah Gray, 37-inch for Jared Wiley, 35 for Travis Kelce. Jared Wiley with a couple inches of reach, with a couple inches of vert, and I didn't get their arm length in here, but if memory serves me, Jared Wiley has the longest arms of the group as well. That is what makes you look like a very compelling red zone target. But a red zone target is nothing more than a first down target with points attached. The first down is the touchdown, the sub-touchdown of the drive is what allows you to keep going, not what scores you the points. So having that reach advantage, having that leaping advantage makes you a more viable target 10 yards down the field in order to convert and stay on the field, the same way that it makes you a more viable target in the end zone. The broad jump numbers for a tight end, I am not 100% sold on the efficacy of this stat, but 9.7 for Noah Gray, 9.10 for Jared Wiley, and 10.4 for Travis Kelce. So we see, obviously, broad jump is a measurement of explosion. We see in this group Travis Kelce being an especially explosive athlete. That is what gets him to the Hall of Fame status. As I mentioned at the front of the video, I think the Jared Wiley draft pick is actually compelling for a lot of reasons, but none, perhaps, more so than the fact that this could be the Kansas City Chiefs finally getting their roster into position where they feel that they can draft over competitors. We saw this a little bit with the safety they selected too, because it does not appear that the safety position is necessarily all that big of a need with the guys that they already had on the roster. So, what does this mean if the Chiefs are drafting over? And I do not mean this disrespectfully to Noah Gray. Noah Gray proved himself. I think what we found with Noah Gray when we start looking at those stats is that we just found Noah Gray's ceiling. That's who Noah Gray is in the NFL. Probably that is the talent of a guy that you want as a number 3 tight end, not a number 2 tight end. The number 2 guy on your roster is the guy that has to be able to step up in case of injury, and ideally is the guy that you have to take over if someone on the roster retires. If the guy ahead of him retires, gets traded, gets cut, moves on, demands a trade, whatever it is, Tyreek Hill, whatever it is, whatever the reason there, the backup guy is supposed to be the one that can rise to the level of the starter. Now, I don't think that Jared Wiley's necessarily going to rise to the level of Travis Kelce, but if he does, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a whole lot more Lombardi trophies over the next decade. But it is exciting that the Kansas City Chiefs may be drafting over contributors, because what it means is the perpetuation of good football in absolute terms. If you're drafting over contributors, it means that you are not dependent on getting lucky in the 7th round and finding a Jalen Watson, finding an Isaiah Pacheco, finding potentially a Najee Johnson, finding a Trey Smith in round 6. It means that you're not dependent on that happening every season, though Brett Veach seems to get it done basically every year in the draft. And drafting over contributing players means that football does not sustain, it starts to get better. So that is exciting from the vantage point of a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Thank you for being here. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And guys, right now things are drying up on the views front. I am not one of the big boys, so help me out and hit that like button. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more Kansas City Chiefs content in the future. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.